welcome. We are now in the session 21 of this course. We have finished half the course, and if you people are still there, then I have to tell you that you people are made of quite solid, tough material, and you are going to accomplish a lot in your life. Perhaps some of you have already accomplished quite a bit. So let us continue with all the tough materials that we have around. Okay? So as usual, as we start a quarter, we quickly review whatever we have done before that. Okay? So this has two purposes. One is to remind all participants, all students, regarding whatever we have accomplished, and remind them to ensure that those things they have understood properly. And the second purpose is to point out to the teachers what they need to do and what they need to ensure among their students. So first, which is specifically addressed to teachers, is letters, which I remind you about at the beginning of every quarter. So ensure that your students write clear cursive English. Okay? And the two other segments, which are the major segments of the course, vocabulary and syntax. So to recapitulate the words that we have studied, as you know, in this scheme of learning and teaching, we study words with their sounds and spelling patterns, grouping them according to that, and call them word families. Okay? So initially we studied sounds and spelling patterns of single vowels, and then we saw the effect of the end E, the final E, on the interior vowel sounds, and we had another number of word families. And then we studied the sound of Y, double O and double E. This much we did in first quarter. Okay? And then in the second quarter, we started taking the vowel sounds and spelling patterns of two vowels in continuity. We covered A and another vowel, and then E and another vowel. That includes EA, okay, and AI, AO, okay, UA, AU, EI, EO, all these we covered. Okay. Apart from that, in both the quarters together, we had two lists of longer words with different parts belonging to different families, and we discussed that those words, even though long or mixed, so-called mixed words, they pose no difficulty in pronouncing and spelling, except that they are long and they have to be pronounced in parts, and the parts will go according to their individual families. Apart from all these words, we studied verbs, which are also words, but we studied verbs with special emphasis in their 5 forms. Okay? So let us quickly have a look at that. Verbs. So we studied these 100 verbs in 5 smaller lists. Okay? In every list, 20 verbs appearing. Okay? So like that, over the last 20 sessions, we studied these 100 verbs, very less actually. Okay? And in a recent session, I advised you that when you study these verbs, apart from looking at its 5 forms, also ask yourself whether these verbs can take any object. Okay, some of them can take and some of them cannot, and according to that there will be sentences in which some verbs can come and some others cannot. And those verbs which can take objects, you should also try to examine whether they can take only a single object in a sentence or multiple objects. Okay? That is 2 objects. So that way you will develop more familiarity, more recognition of these verbs. Another question that you should typically ask yourself is that whether these words have other meanings. Other meanings as verbs themselves, that is another verb, or other meanings as adjective or noun. Many verbs do have such extra meanings. Okay. So, this I advise you to do this exercise on the first list of 100 verbs. I advise you to do, and now what we will do, we will pick up a second such list and partly do that exercise here. So, earlier we have seen some verbs and now we have some more verbs. Okay. Just read the first line.
Accept,
Accept.
accept, agree, announce, argue, arrange, arrest, arrive.
Okay. This point onwards, I will introduce a rule that when we study verbs, then the person who is reading out the verbs, after reading a verb, he will wait, and some of the others will tell its meaning. Okay? And we typically want two kinds of meanings. One is in English and the other is in CLL, that is in Hindi. Accept, स्वीकार करना, एग्री, मान जाना, राजी होना, अनाउंस, घोषणा करना, ऐलान करना, आर्ग्यू, बहस करना, अरेंज, ओके, सजाना, व्यवस्था करना, अरेस्ट, गिरफ्तार करना, अराइव, पहुंचना. ठीक है. ओके. हाँ, दुर्गा.
बेक, बार,
रुको. बेक का मतलब फेंकना. ओके. बार्क मतलब भौंकना. बियर नहीं, बेयर.
बैग,
वहन करना या ढोना. ठीक है.
बिगिन,
शुरू करना. यस. आरंभ करना.
बिलीव,
विश्वास करना.
बाइंड,
बांधना. बांधना ज़्यादा अच्छा. ब्लीड.
ब्लीड.
हाँ, ये बड़ा फर्स्ट क्लास एग्जाम्पल है. जैसे हम लोगों ने देखा था. अच्छा, खून बह रहा है, क्या होगा इंग्लिश? व्हाट इज ब्लीडिंग? खून बह रहा है. इट इज ब्लीडिंग. इट इज ब्लीडिंग. सो डमी सब्जेक्ट का एग्जाम्पल. ठीक है. जैसे इट इज रेनिंग. रेनिंग में क्या रेन करता है? रेन. तो बोलते हैं इट इज रेनिंग. उस वजह से ब्लीड जब होता है तो क्या ब्लीड करता है? ब्लड. तो जिसमें कि वर्ब में ही सब्जेक्ट किसी ना किसी तरह से घुस कर बैठा हुआ है, उसमें अलग से सब्जेक्ट में की जरूरत नहीं है. एंड बट द रूल वांट्स अ सब्जेक्ट, सो यू पुट अ डमी, पुट अ फ्लैग देयर. ओके. सो ब्लीड, खून बहना.
बॉयल,
उबालना.
बाउंड,
उबलना भी होता है. उबलना उबालना दोनों होता है. कॉजेटिव.
बाउंड,
हाँ, सीमित करना. वेरी गुड. कंटिन्यू.
कैंसिल,
रद्द करना, खारिज करना. यस.
कैप्चर,
ओके.
कैद करना,
कैद करना. कैद करना. ठीक है.
चैट,
गप करना.
चीट,
धोखा देना या ठगना. ठीक है.
डिसीव,
सेम थिंग. सेम थिंग. सेम थिंग.
डिमांड,
दावा करना. दावा करना.
डिनाई, मना करना,
इनकार करना.
डिपार्ट,
चले जाना.
डिस्टर्ब,
तंग करना. गुड.
डाउट,
ओके. शक करना. यस.
रेंच,
नहीं नहीं, भिंगाना. भिंगाना. मैं तुम जाके पानी में खड़े हो गए नहीं, मैं तुम्हारे ऊपर पानी फेंकता हूँ तो तुम ड्रेंच हो जाते हो. ठीक है.
एम्ब्रेस,
आलिंगन करना. यस.
एंड,
ठीक.
एक्सपैंड,
फैलना. साफ. फैलना या फैलाना भी हो सकता है. खिलाना. यस.
फ्ली,
भाग जाना. करेक्ट.
फोल्ड,
मोड़ना या तह लगाना.
फॉलो,
पीछा करना या अनुसरण करना एकदम सही है, पीछे पीछे जाना। मतलब पीछा करने में लगता है कि चेज कर रहा है, कोई ज़रूरी नहीं है। हाँ, फोर्स जबरदस्ती करना, यस।
forgive,
माफ़ करना, ठीक है।
found,
स्थापना करना, यस।
free,
हाँ, छोड़ देना, स्वतंत्र कर देना, ठीक है।
freeze,
जमना या जमाना, दोनों।
fulfill,
फ्राई,
right,
तलना भूनना, यस।
fulfill,
Make note that in full there are two L's. In fill there are two more L's. So 2 plus 2 is not 4, it is 2. One L drops from here, another L drops from here. Okay? This is one place where lots and lots of people make mistake. Okay.
gossip,
गप्पे करना, yes. Chat भी था, gossip भी है. फिर
grin,
धीरे से मुस्कुराना कुछ नहीं, दांत निकाल के हंसना। हिंदी में एकदम खड़ी बोली में बोलते हैं दांत निपोड़ना। ओके, ऐसे। ओके, आगे।
hang,
मतलब हैंग, लटकना भी होता है, लटकाना भी होता है। और लटकाना में दो टाइप का लटकाना होता है, एक सीधा सपाटा लटका दो और दूसरा फांसी में लटका दो। और दोनों का जब सेकेंड फॉर्म थर्ड फॉर्म करते हैं तो फर्क हो जाता है। बी वेरी केयरफुल। सीधे सीधे लटकाया गया था तो हंग, और अगर फांसी दे दिया गया था तो हैंग्ड। गलत कॉन्टेक्स्ट में यूज करेंगे तो बहुत बुरा होगा।
harm,
हाँ, मतलब कि नुकसान पहुंचाना, करेक्ट।
hug,
गले लगाना, आलिंगन करना, यस।
imitate,
इमिटेट, नकल करना, यस।
inform,
सूचित करना, खबर देना।
injure,
घायल करना, इंस्ट्रक्ट, यस। आदेश, निर्देश देना, निर्देश देना। इंस्ट्रक्शन जानते हो ना, तो इंस्ट्रक्ट, इंस्ट्रक्शन, निर्देश देना और निर्देश।
kiss,
आगे इधर दो।
kiss,
मतलब चुंबन करना, चूमना, गुड।
knit,
बुनना, यस,
lead,
यस। नेतृत्व करना, बिल्कुल सही,
leave,
यस। हाँ, छोड़ देना भी होता है, चले जाना भी होता है।
lie,
झूठ बोलना, गुड।
mend,
सुधारना, मरम्मत करना।
obey,
आज्ञा मानना, बात मानना।
obstruct,
ऑब्स्ट्रक्ट, रुकावट डालना।
pat,
हाँ, थोड़ा
plant,
ये प्लांट। रोपना, यस, रोपना, प्लांट रोपना। इसलिए जिस चीज़ को रोपते हैं वो है प्लांट।
please,
खुश करना, प्लीज, दूसरे सेंस में भी यूज होता है, ठीक है।
plow,
हल चलाना।
preach,
उपदेश देना।
prepare,
तैयार करना, यस।
press,
दबाव डालना या दबाना, दोनों ही है।
punish,
सजा देना,
quarrel,
झगड़ा करना,
quit,
छोड़ देना।
raise,
उठाना, यस। राइज मतलब उठना, रेज मतलब उठाना।
reach,
पहुंचना,
reap,
फसल काटना, ओके।
rear,
एज यू बो सो यू रीप।
rear,
हाँ, रियर मतलब कि क्या, वो तो वर्ब नहीं है। वर्ब में रियर मतलब पाल पोस कर बड़ा करना। वी रियर आवर चिल्ड्रेन, पालन पोषण करके बड़ा करना। टू ब्रिंग अप,
receive,
लेना, पाना।
release, छोड़ देना, repair, मरम्मत,
ठीक है।
request,
अनुरोध करना, बिल्कुल सही। इधर दो।
respect,
सम्मान करना,
return,
लौटाना या लौटना भी होता है।
revise,
क्या चीज, दोहराना, हाँ ठीक है।
rob,
छीनना, लूटना, ठीक है।
seize,
धर के
बंद
पकड़
कर
लेना.
Set.
सजाना, ठीक ठाक करना. या उल्टे सेंस में भी कभी कभी होता है कि कोई चीज़ खड़े होकर रहना चाहता है, हमने उसको बैठा दिया. ठीक है.
Sew.
सिलाई करना, सिलाई करना.
Snatch.
छीनना.
Sew.
बोना, बोना.
Start.
बोना और रोपना में फर्क पता है ना. सो और प्लांट, बीज बोते हैं और छोटा सा सैपलिंग रोपते हैं. ओके, सो वी सो सीड्स एंड प्लांट सैपलिंग्स. ओके,
Start.
शुरू करना.
Stay.
रहना, रहना, साफ रहना.
Step.
कदम रखना.
Stitch.
सीना या सिलाई करना.
Stop.
रुकना या रोकना, दोनों ही चलेगा.
Stretch.
खींचना, खींचना.
Tease.
अच्छा, स्ट्रेच और एक्सपैंड में क्या फर्क है? रस्सी को खींचते हैं, चादर को एक्सपैंड कर सकते हैं. गैस एक्सपैंड होता है, ठीक है. तार स्ट्रेच होता है. स्ट्रेच इज वन डायमेंशनल लेंथ. ओके, एंड एक्सपैंड इज बेस्ड ऑन वॉल्यूम. ओके.
Tease.
चिढ़ाना, बिल्कुल सही.
Threaten.
धमकी देना, हाँ, डराना, धमकाना, डराना, धमकाना. ठीक है.
Tickle.
गुदगुदी करना. ठीक है.
Till.
Verb. You till your land, right? खेती करना.
Torture.
Torture. अत्याचार करना. अत्याचार भी कैसा है? मतलब कि डायरेक्ट वायलेंस, डायरेक्ट हिंसा, कि उसका कलाई पकड़ के ऐसे घुमा रहे हैं कि बोलो बोलो, बोलोगे कि नहीं. ठीक है. टॉर्चर.
Trust.
विश्वास करना. ठीक है.
Warn.
टर्न, घूमना या घुमाना. वार्न, बिल्कुल सही. सतर्क करना, चेतावनी देना.
Weave.
वार्निंग और थ्रेटनिंग में फर्क है. वार्निंग हम उसको देते हैं जिसका भला चाहते हैं, और थ्रेटनिंग ओके, वीव, बुनना, बुनना, यस, बुनना. ओके. सो एक काम हम लोगों ने कर लिया कि मीनिंग सबका जानते हैं, पक्का हो गया. ठीक है. जो नहीं जानते थे उनको भी पता चल गया. इसको जहाँ तहाँ यूज़ कर सकते हैं. ठीक है. यूज़ होगा तो पहचानना पड़ेगा. अच्छा, दूसरा और तीसरा सवाल जो है, इसमें किसके कितने ऑब्जेक्ट्स हो सकते हैं, 0, 1, 2, वो आप अपने से कीजिए. और कौन कौन सा जो है नाउन और एडजेक्टिव के तौर पे भी मीनिंग रखता है, कौन सा दूसरे वर्ब के तौर पे भी मीनिंग रखता है, उसका कुछ तो कॉन्टेक्स्ट में आ ही गया है. बाकी आप लोग सोचेंगे. ठीक है. फिर चलते हैं. तो वर्ब से हम लोगों ने बहुत कुछ किया. और एक और सवाल उठेगा. इसके पहले लिस्ट के वर्ब्स में हम लोगों ने 5 फॉर्म्स देखा था. इन दीज मेक दोज 5 फॉर्म्स ऑन योर ओन and ensure that you know the spellings of all the 5 forms. Okay. So, for example, bleed, bleeded नहीं, bled. Okay. Hang का हम लोगों ने देखा कि hung भी होता है, hanged भी होता है. ठीक है. Okay. So, freeze का froze, frozen, freezes, freezing. Okay. And so on. So, there are lots of them. Okay. We continue. So, some time back we saw a quick recapitulation of words. Okay. Now, similarly, sentences. These are things that we did in sentences, right? So, first we studied sentences expressing order, instruction, request, and then we studied simple present, past, future, and in that we went stepwise. I am enumerating the steps for the benefit of teachers. First, we connected subject and verb, made simplest kind of sentences, and then we added objects. Then we added objects and phrases, sometimes alone, sometimes together. Then we introduced the verb do and studied negative and interrogative sentences. And these interrogative sentences were apparently not enough. So we asked what are the questions which cannot be answered in yes, no, which require specific answer. So we looked at WH words and framed query, actual questions which require information, new information, not just yes, no. And summarizing all these, we had 14 types of sentences at the end of quarter 1. In quarter 2, we studied third forms and fifth forms of verbs as adjectives and fifth forms as adverbs also, and the structure to plus verb as adverbs to signify purpose and also as nouns to stand for subject and object in sentences. Okay. Then we studied the one of the most important verbs, verb be, as the main verb or only verb in a sentence, which show no action but position or status. Okay. And then we connected the third form of verbs after be to get the structure in passive voice, and fifth form after be to get the structure of continuous tense. Make note that this helping verb do has a particular kind of work. Okay. It helps in making negative sentences and interrogative sentences with those verbs which have an action, okay, which have either action or state also. For state also you can use, but for most of the verbs you need this verb do to show negative and interrogative sentences. And in order to do that, do has got the license to sit with another verb as verb itself. So, do and another verb can sit together as two verbs in their proper verb forms. Be is also a helping verb, but does not help in the manner do does, and therefore does not have the same license. Be, unlike do, does not have license to sit with another verb in the verb form only. When a different verb wants the help of be, wants the support of be, it cannot come on its own. It can come in one of its adjective adverb forms. If it comes in third form, then that can sit with be. Okay? So, do has a license of sitting with somebody as proper verb when that other verb also is sitting as proper verb. Be does not have that license. This is one source of the greatest number of mistakes that people make. Okay? So, when the third form comes after be, you get the passive voice construction, and when fifth form comes after be, then you get the continuous tense. Okay? Be plus fifth form plus third form also comes, where the fifth form is fifth form of be. Okay? Is being shown, okay, are being punished. So, be, then fifth form of be, being, and then punished, that is the third form. So, third form of another verb. Okay. So, that makes sense because it is a sentence in passive voice and continuous tense. Okay. So, the fifth form also comes and third form also comes. Fifth form of be comes, third form of the actual verb comes, and another helping be comes, which actually comes in its changed form. Whenever a verb is helping some other verb, it is the helper who changes according to the tense or number. The main verb in that case stays in its standard form, whatever form is required. In this case, it stays in first or fourth form or second form, or comes with will, and in these cases it stays in third form or fifth form. That cannot change its form. According to the tense and the number, the helping verb will change. Okay? Apart from these, we studied two special features which we call special because we need it as a special separate idea, because in Indian languages these features are not there because they are not required. In Indian languages, typically the straightforward sentence structures can express situations or thoughts or feelings for which English requires some special features. So, one is dummy subjects, in which there or it comes in the beginning without signifying anything concrete. Okay? In order to take the place of the subject. And another special feature in English, which in Indian languages is absent, is that in some cases there are that is in the case of some verbs, with the subject and verb, the sense of the sentence does not get complete. Okay. And in that case, something is needed after that. Okay. So, that these two are special topics in English, which teachers should note, require special care in teaching Indian students. Okay. So, all these different new types of sentences that we studied, after adding them with the 14 types of sentences that we studied in quarter 2 itself, we got a total of sentence in 46 types. Of course, it is not important to enumerate them like that, but we took stock. Okay. And that is this. Okay. So, this you have recently seen, and it would be a good exercise to sit one round with the mood and preparation to build 46 sentences and put one sentence in every place. Okay. So, that will give you a complete checklist that all these 46 sentences are different and valid. Okay. And of course, in the course, other than these things, we developed two techniques, interpretation and expression, in which we developed a procedure to break sentences into several logically different pieces, understand and convert each of the pieces into another language, either English to CLL or CLL to English, and then assemble in the target language to get a get an expression of the original in the new language. Okay. So, this exercise in this particular class we cannot do much, because in this class a large number of participants are not that well versed with Hindi, but once in a while we put some such exercises. So, in today's assignment there will be a small English passage which you will have to convert to Hindi, and we do not insist that you do it in the long step by step form, but for whichever sentence you feel that will help, you can do that. Apart from this small English passage, we have in this same assignment a relatively longer Hindi passage, which you have to similarly translate into English. Here also, for whichever sentence you feel that the formal or methodical systematic steps of expression will help you, do that. Otherwise, if you get the picture directly, then you can directly translate. We do not insist on the adherence to the steps. It is required for those whom it helps. Okay. So, I stop here today, and any questions? No? Today in the plan I had a little game, but apparently we do not have time to play that. Okay. So, sometime you find time to play this game, okay, make two teams, okay, and decide that one team will tell a sentence in active voice, and the other team will either convert it to passive voice or prove, show reason why it cannot be converted to passive voice. Okay. If the first attempt is right, then they get 3 marks. If the second attempt is right, they get 2 marks. If the third attempt is right, then they get 1 mark. Okay. If they get it right at all, then they get the chance to ask the next question. Then they ask a question in active or passive voice, and the other team has to respond similarly. So, I thought that today in camera we will play this game for a while, but not much time is left, so we cannot play. In earlier EPP classes we used to have many such interesting games. So, sometimes we should find some time to do that here also. Okay. So, more study and perhaps more games in later sessions. So, right now we stop. Thank you.